Here's something I've been thinking about lately, and honestly, it's kind of terrifying when you really sit with it. Attention has basically become the most valuable currency in the world, like literally. Your attention, so basically what you choose to focus on, or where you direct your mental energy, it's worth actual money to companies, billions of dollars actually, and most of us are just giving it away for free, without even realizing it. Think about it this way. Every single app on your phone, every website you visit, every piece of content that pops up in your feed, they're all designed with one goal in mind, and that's to capture your attention and keep it for as long as possible. Because the longer they have your eyes on the screen, the more money they make. It's actually that simple. And I'm not trying to sound like some conspiracy theorist here, but this is just the reality we live in. Netflix is competing with YouTube, YouTube's competing with TikTok, TikTok's competing with Instagram. And they're not just competing with each other, they're competing with your sleep, your conversations with friends, your hobbies, your work, your goals, basically everything. These companies have literally hired neuroscientists and psychologists to figure out how to make their platforms as addictive as possible. The infinite scroll, that's designed to keep you going. The pull to refresh, that's mimicking a slot machine. The little red notification dots, those are engineered to create anxiety until you clear them. This is a war for your attention, and they've got billions of dollars and the smartest minds in the world fighting to win it. I've heard that there was this study done by Microsoft from a few years back, and they found that the average human attention span dropped from 12 seconds in the year 2000 to 8 seconds by 2015. 8 seconds. That's shorter than a goldfish, which can apparently focus for 9 seconds. Now, some researchers have pushed back on this specific stat, saying it's more complicated than that. But here's what we do know for sure. A study from Harvard found that people spend almost 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're currently doing. Almost half our lives, we're mentally checked out. And you can feel it, right? Like, when was the last time you sat through a full movie without looking at your phone? When was the last time you read an article all the way to the end without skimming it? When was the last time you had a conversation where you weren't also half thinking about something else? To be honest with you, I catch myself doing this all the time. I'll be in the middle of something important and suddenly I'm 3 videos deep into a rabbit hole on YouTube. And I don't even remember picking up my phone. It's kind of automatic. And I think this really matters because your attention isn't just about productivity or getting stuff done. It's actually about your mental health, your well-being, your ability to actually be present in your own life, to connect with the people you love, to do deep, meaningful work that you're actually proud of. Studies have shown that constant context switching, which is what we're doing every time we check our phones whilst working, or watching TV whilst eating dinner, it literally drains our cognitive resources. Gloria Mark, a professor at UC Irvine, found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption happens. So if you're checking your phone every few minutes, you're never actually fully focused on anything. You're just in this constant state of partial attention, and it's exhausting. And the mental health stuff, it's real. There's been research linking excessive social media use, which is just really attention fragmentation, to increased rates of anxiety and depression, especially in young people. We're trading our peace of mind for dopamine hits. We're trading genuine connection for likes and comments. Also, your relationships suffer when you can't give people your full attention. Your work is going to suffer when you can't focus for more than a few minutes. Your mental health suffers when you're constantly overstimulated and never giving your brain a chance to rest. It's pretty much common sense. So what can we do about it? Because here's the thing. We can't just opt out of the modern world. We need our phones, we need the internet, we need these tools. They're not going away, but we also need to protect ourselves. So firstly, and I know this sounds basic, but you need routines, like actual intentional boundaries. For me, I try not to look at my phone as soon as I wake up. I'm not perfect at it, but when I do it, the difference in my day is massive. I'm calmer, I feel a bit more focused. I'm actually thinking my own thoughts instead of immediately filling my head with everyone else's content. Some people don't do any phones after 9 p.m. Some people are phone-free Sundays. Some people leave their phone in another room when they sleep. You just need to find out what works for you. But the key is, it has to be intentional. It has to be a conscious choice, not just something that you hope happens. The second thing is to turn off notifications for anything that's not actually urgent. Do you really need to know the second someone likes your photo? Does every email need to buzz in your pocket? Does your phone need to ding every time someone posts in the group chat? Probably not. I've basically turned off the majority of notifications on my phone, and once I turned them off, I realized how much mental noise I was living with day to day. The third thing is to try monotasking. I know we've been told multitasking is a superpower. It's not. It's a trap. Research has shown over and over that multitasking actually makes us worse at everything we're trying to do. When you're working, just work. When you're with people, be with people. When you're relaxing, then actually relax. Single task your way through things and watch how much better you feel, how much you actually accomplish, how much more present you become. And here's maybe the most important one. Try to create friction between you and the distractions. Delete social media apps off your phone. You can still access them on your computer when you want to, but you have to make the choice to go there. Put your phone in another room when you're trying to focus. Use website blockers during work hours. Make it harder basically to fall into the scroll hole. The easier something is to access, the more we use it without thinking. So make yourself have to actually think about it. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about never using your phone again or becoming some off-the-grid hermit. It's about intentionality, deciding that your attention, your life, is too valuable to just hand over to whoever wants it, because you're capable of so much more than you're currently giving yourself credit for. When you protect your attention, I think when you learn to focus deeply again, you unlock this version of yourself that can actually do the things you've been wanting to do, like write that book, build that business, learn that skill, be fully present with your kids, create something meaningful. Think about the person you want to become. Think about the life you want to build. Do you think that version of yourself is constantly distracted, constantly half present, constantly scattered across a dozen different apps and notifications? Or do you think that version of you has learned to focus, learned to be present, learned to protect their mental energy like it's precious, because it is? You have one life, and every moment you spend in distracted half attention is a moment you don't get back. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying this because I believe we're all capable of more. I believe you have important things to do, important people to connect with, an important life to live. And you can't do any of that if your attention is constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions. So why does any of this actually matter? Why go through all this effort? Why fight this uphill battle when it would be so much easier to just go with the flow? Because your attention is literally your life. What you pay attention to is what you experience. What you focus on shapes how you think and how you feel, basically who you become. If you're constantly fracturing your attention across a dozen different apps and distractions, you're not really living your life. You're just kind of skimming the surface of it. You kind of become a spectator in your own existence. And I think deep down we all know this. We all have that feeling sometimes when we look up after an hour of scrolling and think, what did I even just do? It's a kind of empty feeling, the sense that time just disappeared and you have nothing to show for it. That's your brain telling you something. The companies fighting for your attention aren't going anywhere. The algorithms are only going to get better and better. The next TikTok, the next Instagram, whatever it is, they're coming. And they'll be even more addictive than what we have now. So it's on us to be intentional, to set boundaries, to remember that we get to choose where our attention goes and nobody else gets to make that choice for us. Because at the end of the day, how you spend your attention is how you spend your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.